Hi there, and welcome to the Cotswold Explorer. I'm Robin Shuckburgh, and we're exploring the wonderful region of the Cotswolds in southwest England. We've decided to revisit the centre of the region and find some hidden gems, places that are not quite so famous, but still just as beautiful. Today, you find Ross, Widget, Gizmo and me in the little village of Coln Rogers. Now, we're moving slowly up the Coln River, one of my very favourite rivers in the Cotswolds, and it's so beautiful here in the sunshine. We can't wait to show you around. It's always fun researching the history of Cotswold villages and finding the things amongst the reams of clerical and geographical history that might amuse you all. It's almost always the case that a few things stand out, and Coln Rogers is no exception. Firstly, it seems that this is the village from whence the surname Rogers is derived. I'm not quite certain why this should surprise me, particularly as my own name Shuckburgh is derived from a village in Warwickshire of a similar size, albeit less beautiful. But I'm sure it might be one of interest to all those with the Rogers moniker. The name recalls Roger of Gloucester, who gave the manor of Coln to Gloucester Abbey in 1105. The valley rises steeply from the narrow meadows surrounding the Coln River, creating the sheltered, cosy feel to the village that is so much treasured by Cotswold lovers. Horses gambol and roll in the lush grasslands and the foot of the valley, and there's a great sense that all is well with the world. There is the usual buzz of agricultural machinery around us, whilst the red kites and buzzards circle above, ready to pick off any rodents disturbed by the passing tractors. We notice that some of the cottages show signs of people working from home, one of the saviours of villages like this. It's good to see the good side of our extraordinary communications revolution in action for a change, although I have to admit that the signal strength for the internet could be a bit of a problem. Another interesting fact I came across is that this is one of only 53 communities in the entire country who lost no one in the carnage of the First World War. These 53 places are known as the Thankful Villages. The phrase was coined by Arthur Mee in the 1930s in the first volume of his guide to The King's England. To put this in context, there are tens of thousands of villages and towns in the UK, and only 53 came off scot-free from the 1418 war. Only 14 are doubly thankful in that they lost no one in either First or Second World Wars. Whilst Coln Rogers is not one of those, it nevertheless feels appropriate that this wonderfully relaxed place, where the horrors of geopolitics seem a million miles away, should be a member of the rare Thankful Villages band. The last time we came across a village with this distinction was at Upper Slaughter, who are amongst the 14 doubly thankful communities. You can, of course, find our film on that village on our YouTube channel. The principal buildings of this village are grouped around the church. The barns and outbuildings of the original farm have been converted into private houses during the 20th century, and the outlying pigeon house, the other side of the river, looks well maintained and sound, almost certainly indicating a reliably conscientious owner prepared to take on the massive task of keeping up one of these lovely houses. Whilst it's easy to find early 20th century descriptions of the increasing dilapidation of all the villages on the Coln, these days, fortunately, the beauty of the place is so appreciated that huge sums of money are available to maintain these historical structures. Over the centuries, the land in the valley was initially used as small-holding arable land, gradually combined together to form larger farms where sheep and eventually specialised Charolais cattle were grazed, and more recently the fields were divided into horse paddocks, which trend has spread to nearby Fossbridge and Pindrup. The church was built before the Norman conquest of 1066, which makes the building particularly fascinating. It has an almost complete late Saxon nave and chancel. Apart from the enlargement of the windows, inevitable as glass became cheaper and stronger, and the addition of the west tower, this church gives us a clear vision of Saxon architecture. Our favourite Pevsner guide, as always slightly irritated by any overworking, comments that the church has suffered too many restorations, one in 1844-5 and two more by the constantly present Waller and Son in 1888 and later in 1910. There is a Norman tub-shaped font on a scalloped base, a 15th century stone pulpit, quite plain but elegant, and the church contains a wonderful medieval oak chest with a studded surface and its original ironwork. There's some very good 15th century glass in the northeast window, and mid to late 19th century windows in the rest of the church. There are several marble monuments to local families in the church, and in the churchyard, just north of the nave, a headstone to David Talbot Rice, the art historian and an expert in Byzantine art, who was from a very important local family and died in 1972. I do hope you've enjoyed our little spin around Coln Rogers. It's extraordinary, this place. We're having such fun in the Coln Valley. It's the sort of essence of the Cotswolds. And of course it's right in the middle of them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can find us on all normal platforms. And we will see you again extremely soon, somewhere else in the Cotswolds.